Question 1. A project manager is leading a software development project that aims to create a new mobile application. During the execution phase, a key stakeholder requests a significant new feature that was not part of the original scope. What is the most appropriate initial action for the project manager to take regarding this request? A. Immediately add the feature to the project scope to satisfy the stakeholder. B. Inform the stakeholder that no changes can be made once execution begins. C. Direct the stakeholder to submit a formal change request and assess its impact. D. Implement the feature if the team believes it can be completed quickly. Answer: C. Direct the stakeholder to submit a formal change request and assess its impact. The most appropriate initial action when a significant new feature is requested during project execution is to direct the stakeholder to submit a formal change request. This adheres to the integrated change control process, which ensures that all proposed changes are documented, reviewed, analyzed for their impact on scope, schedule, cost, quality, and risks, and then approved or rejected by the appropriate authority. Simply adding the feature or dismissing the request bypasses this crucial control mechanism and can lead to scope creep or project failure. Always follow the established change management process to maintain project control and transparency. Question 2. Which of the following best describes the primary characteristic that differentiates a project from ongoing operations? A. Projects are performed by teams, while operations are performed by individuals. B. Projects have a specific start and end date, while operations are continuous. C. Projects always produce a unique product, service, or result, while operations deliver standard outputs. D. Projects are temporary endeavors, while operations are permanent functions. Answer: D. Projects are temporary endeavors, while operations are permanent functions. The primary characteristic distinguishing a project from ongoing operations is its temporary nature. A project is defined as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result, meaning it has a definite beginning and end. In contrast, operations are ongoing, repetitive functions that produce standard products or services and sustain the business. Understanding this fundamental difference is crucial, as it dictates how project work is planned, executed, and ultimately closed, unlike the continuous nature of operational activities. Always remember that projects, by definition, have a clear end point. Question 3. A project team is experiencing frequent misunderstandings and lack of clear direction, despite regular meetings. The project manager suspects that team members are unsure of their roles and responsibilities. Which document would be most helpful in clarifying these issues? A. Risk Register. B. Stakeholder Register. C. Work Breakdown Structure, WBS. D. Responsibility Assignment Matrix, RAM. Answer: D. Responsibility Assignment Matrix, RAM. A responsibility assignment matrix, RAM, often in the form of a RACI, responsible, accountable, consulted, informed, chart, is the most helpful tool for clarifying roles and responsibilities within a project team. It visually depicts which team member or role is responsible, accountable, consulted, or informed for specific tasks or deliverables, thereby reducing confusion and promoting clear expectations. While a WBS breaks down the work, the RAM assigns who does that work, which directly addresses issues of unclear direction and misunderstandings due to undefined roles. Use a RAM to ensure everyone knows their part in the project's success. Question 4. In an Agile project, the team completes a 2-week sprint. At the end of the sprint, the team holds a meeting to discuss what went well, what could be improved, and what changes they will implement in the next sprint. What is this meeting called? A. Sprint planning. B. Daily Scrum. C. Sprint retrospective. D. Sprint review. Answer: C. Sprint retrospective. The meeting described is the sprint retrospective, which is a key event in Scrum held at the end of each sprint. Its purpose is for the team to inspect itself and create a plan for improvements to be enacted during the next sprint, focusing on processes, tools, and interactions. This continuous improvement mindset is fundamental to Agile methodologies, allowing teams to adapt and enhance their efficiency and effectiveness over time. Think of the sprint retrospective as the team's dedicated time for learning and self-correction. Question 5. Which of the following is an example of an enterprise environmental factor, EF, that could influence a project? A. Organizational policies and procedures. B. Project Management Information Systems, PMIS. C. Government regulations and industry standards. D. Lessons learned repository. Answer: C. Government regulations and industry standards. Government regulations and industry standards are classic examples of enterprise environmental factors, EFs. EEFs are conditions, not under the direct control of the project team, that influence, constrain, or direct the project. These can include organizational culture, market conditions, and, as in this case, external legal or regulatory requirements that all projects within that environment must adhere to. Unlike organizational process assets, OPAs, which are internal organizational assets, EFs are external influences that a project manager must be aware of and adapt to. Always consider both internal and external factors when planning your project. Question 6. A project manager is conducting stakeholder analysis and identifies several individuals who have a high interest in the project's outcome but limited power to influence decisions. How should these stakeholders primarily be managed to ensure their needs are addressed? A. Manage closely. B. Keep satisfied. C. Keep informed. D. Monitor, minimum effort. Answer: C. Keep informed. For stakeholders with high interest but low power, the most appropriate engagement strategy is to keep informed. These stakeholders care about the project's progress and outcomes, so providing regular updates and information is crucial to managing their expectations and maintaining their support. While their power to directly influence decisions may be limited, their interest means they will notice what is happening. Effectively communicating with them ensures transparency and prevents them from becoming disengaged or negative towards the project. Remember to tailor your communication strategy to each stakeholder's specific level of power and interest. Question 7. During project execution, a project manager discovers that a crucial raw material needed for the project is no longer available from the usual supplier. The project manager must quickly find an alternative. Which project management knowledge area is most directly impacted and needs immediate attention? A. Cost management. B. Quality management. C. Procurement management. D. Stakeholder management. Answer: C. Procurement management. When a crucial raw material is unavailable from a supplier, the project manager faces a direct challenge within procurement management. This knowledge area deals with acquiring products, services, or results needed from outside the project team. The inability to obtain a necessary item triggers the need to find alternative suppliers, negotiate new contracts, and manage the acquisition process, all of which fall under procurement activities. While there might be secondary impacts on cost or schedule, the immediate and primary concern is sourcing the required material. Always have contingency plans for critical procurements. Question 8. A project team uses a Kanban board to visualize workflow and limit work in progress. This approach aligns best with which project management principle? A. Command and control. B. Predictive planning. C. Lean principles. D. Waterfall methodology. Answer: C. Lean principles. Using a Kanban board to visualize workflow and limit work in progress aligns directly with Lean principles. Lean emphasizes maximizing customer value while minimizing waste, and key practices include just-in-time delivery, continuous flow, and limiting work in progress, WIP. Kanban is a visual system that helps achieve these goals by making bottlenecks visible and ensuring that new work is only pulled when there's capacity. This iterative and flow-based approach is distinct from traditional command and control or predictive methodologies. Remember that Lean is all about efficiency and value delivery. Question 9. What is the primary purpose of the project management plan? A. To serve as the project's formal authorization. B. To document all identified project risks. C. To define, prepare, and coordinate all subsidiary plans and baselines, guiding project execution and control. D. To record lessons learned at the end of the project. Answer: C. To define, prepare, and coordinate all subsidiary plans and baselines, guiding project execution and control. The primary purpose of the Project Management Plan, PMP, is to define, prepare, and coordinate all subsidiary plans and baselines, providing comprehensive guidance for how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. It acts as the single, approved source for how the project will achieve its objectives, integrating all aspects from scope to communications to risk. It is a living document that guides the entire project lifecycle, unlike a project charter which formally authorizes the project, or a risk register which is a component of a subsidiary plan. Think of the PMP as your project's master blueprint. Question 10. A project manager is working on a complex project with a high degree of uncertainty and rapidly changing requirements. Which project life cycle approach would be most suitable for this project? A. Predictive life cycle. B. Iterative life cycle. C. Waterfall life cycle. D. Phased life cycle. Answer: B. Iterative life cycle. For projects with a high degree of uncertainty and rapidly changing requirements, an iterative life cycle is most suitable. This approach allows the project scope to be refined and re-evaluated periodically, with new iterations providing opportunities for feedback and adaptation based on what has been learned. Unlike a predictive, waterfall, life cycle, which requires early definition of scope, an iterative approach embraces change and delivers functionality incrementally, making it ideal for evolving requirements. Consider iterative methods when you know your desired outcome but not all the steps to get there. Question 11. During a project, a team member consistently misses deadlines and delivers subpar work. The project manager has coached the individual, but performance has not improved. What is the project manager's next most appropriate action? A. Remove the team member from the project immediately. B. Report the issue to the functional manager or human resources. C. Reassign the team member to less critical tasks. D. Ignore the issue, hoping it resolves itself over time. Answer: B. Report the issue to the functional manager or human resources. If coaching has not resolved a persistent performance issue, the project manager's next most appropriate action is to report the issue to the functional manager or human resources. Project managers typically have responsibility for team performance but often lack direct disciplinary authority over team members from other departments. Escalating to the functional manager or HR ensures that appropriate organizational procedures for performance management are followed, respecting the organizational structure while seeking a resolution for the project's benefit. Always follow your organization's established protocols for personnel issues. Question 12. A project manager is initiating a new project for an external client. What is the most crucial document that formally authorizes the project and gives the project manager the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities? A. Project Management Plan. B. Business Case. C. Project Charter. D. Scope Statement. Answer: C. Project Charter. The project charter is the most crucial document that formally authorizes the existence of a project and provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities. It is typically issued by a sponsor or initiator external to the project, signifying organizational commitment and high-level approval. Without a signed project charter, a project technically does not officially exist or have the authority to proceed. Always ensure you have a formally approved project charter before beginning significant project work. Question 13. Which of the following is a primary characteristic of a functional organizational structure that can impact project management? A. Project managers have full authority over project budgets and resources. B. Team members report to both a functional manager and a project manager. C. Project teams are often collocated and dedicated to a single project. D. Project team members typically report to a departmental manager, and the project manager has limited authority. Answer: D. Project team members typically report to a departmental manager, and the project manager has limited authority. In a functional organizational structure, team members primarily report to their departmental, functional, manager, and the project manager generally has limited authority, often acting more as a coordinator or expediter. Resources are usually shared across departments, and the project manager must negotiate for their time and effort, which can be challenging. This structure emphasizes departmental specialization over project focus, unlike matrix or projectized structures where project managers have more authority. Understanding your organization's structure is key to navigating project challenges effectively. Question 14. What is the purpose of a work breakdown structure, WBS? A. To define project team roles and responsibilities. B. To graphically represent the sequence of project activities. C. To decompose the total scope of work into smaller, more manageable components. D. To identify all potential project risks and their impacts. Answer: C. To decompose the total scope of work into smaller, more manageable components. The primary purpose of a work breakdown structure, WBS, is to decompose the total scope of work into smaller, more manageable components or deliverables. It is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish the project objectives and create the required deliverables. This breakdown helps in better planning, estimating, scheduling, and controlling the project work. Think of the WBS as creating a detailed outline of everything that needs to be done, ensuring no part of the scope is missed. Question 15. A project manager is about to start the execute project work process. What input is absolutely essential for this process to begin effectively? A. Change requests. B. Work performance data. C. Project management plan. D. Accepted deliverables. Answer: C. Project management plan. The project management plan is absolutely essential as an input to the direct and manage project work process, often referred to as execute project work. This comprehensive plan details how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed, providing the foundational guidelines and baselines against which all work performance will be measured. Without a clear and approved project management plan, the project team would lack the necessary instructions and parameters to perform the project work effectively. Always ensure your roadmap is complete before you start your journey. Question 16. During a daily Scrum, a team member mentions a blocker that is preventing them from completing their task. What is the Scrum Master's primary responsibility in this situation? A. To solve the problem for the team member. B. To ensure the team member takes notes for the impediment log. C. To facilitate the removal of the impediment. D. To assign a different task to the team member. Answer: C. To facilitate the removal of the impediment. The Scrum Master's primary responsibility when an impediment or blocker is identified during a daily Scrum is to facilitate its removal. While they don't necessarily solve the problem themselves, they work to connect the team member with the right resources, escalate the issue if necessary, or help the team find a solution. The Scrum Master acts as a servant leader, empowering the team and ensuring smooth workflow by addressing obstacles that hinder progress. Their role is to enable the team, not to be a task manager. Question 17. Which of the following is considered an output of the perform quality control process? A. Quality management plan. B. Quality metrics. C. Verified deliverables. D. Quality checklists. Answer: C. Verified deliverables. Verified deliverables are a key output of the perform quality control process. In this process, the project team inspects the deliverables produced during project execution to ensure they meet the defined quality requirements and standards. Once a deliverable passes this inspection and meets all specified criteria, it becomes a verified deliverable. These verified deliverables then become an input to the validate scope process for formal acceptance by the customer or sponsor. Quality control is about ensuring what you build is correct and ready for stakeholder review. Question 18. A new project manager is trying to understand the historical information from previous similar projects in their organization. Where would they most likely find this information, including lessons learned, project files, and historical data? A. Enterprise Environmental Factors, EFs. B. Organizational Process Assets, OPAs. C. Project Management Information System, PMIS. D. Project Management Plan, PMP. Answer: B. Organizational Process Assets, OPAs. Historical information from previous similar projects, including lessons learned, project files, and historical data, is primarily stored within Organizational Process Assets, OPAs. OPAs are internal assets of the performing organization that can be used to influence the project's success. These include processes, procedures, corporate knowledge bases like historical information and lessons learned repositories, and organizational policies. Unlike EEFs, which are external, OPAs are internal resources that help project teams leverage past experiences. Always consult your organization's OPAs to avoid reinventing the wheel and to learn from prior projects. Question 19. What is the purpose of conducting a kickoff meeting at the beginning of a project? A. To formally close the project and archive all documents. B. To celebrate project completion with the team and stakeholders. C. To align stakeholders, announce the project's official start, and ensure common understanding of objectives. D. To conduct a comprehensive lessons learned session. Answer: C. To align stakeholders, announce the project's official start, and ensure common understanding of objectives. The primary purpose of conducting a kickoff meeting at the beginning of a project is to bring together all key stakeholders, formally announce the project's official start, and ensure everyone has a common understanding of the project's objectives, scope, roles, and approach. It sets the tone for the project, promotes team building, and allows for initial questions and clarifications. This meeting is crucial for building shared commitment and ensuring everyone is on the same page from the outset. Think of it as the project's official launch party where everyone gets briefed and aligned. Question 20. A project manager uses communication channels to disseminate information to stakeholders. If there are 5 stakeholders in a project, how many potential communication channels exist? A. 5. B. 10. C. 15. D. 20. Answer: B. 10. The number of potential communication channels in a project is calculated using the formula n*(n)(1/2), where n is the number of stakeholders. In this case, with 5 stakeholders, the calculation is 5*5 to 1/2 is equal to 5*4 divided by 2 is equal to 20/2 is equal to 10. This formula helps project managers understand the complexity of communication as the number of stakeholders increases, highlighting the importance of a robust communication plan. The more people involved, the exponentially more connections you need to manage for effective communication. Question 21. Which of the following best describes the core concept of progressive elaboration in project management? A. Completing the project in distinct phases, one after another. B. Continuously improving processes based on lessons learned. C. Iteratively increasing the level of detail in the project management plan as the project progresses. D. Developing the project schedule by adding more activities as the project moves forward. Answer: C. Iteratively increasing the level of detail in the project management plan as the project progresses. Progressive elaboration is the core concept of iteratively increasing the level of detail in the project management plan and project documents as the project progresses and more information becomes available. It acknowledges that projects often start with high-level objectives and a general understanding, and then details are added as the team learns more about the project, its deliverables, and its challenges. This allows for flexibility and adaptation, ensuring that planning remains relevant and detailed enough for the current phase. Think of it as painting a picture. You start with broad strokes, then add finer details as the image becomes clearer. Question 22. A project manager discovers a potential issue that, if it occurs, could negatively impact the project schedule. This issue has not yet happened but has a degree of uncertainty associated with it. What is this scenario an example of? A. A defect. B. A risk. C. An issue. D. A constraint. Answer: B. A risk. This scenario is an example of a risk. A risk is an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has a positive or negative effect on one or more project objectives, such as schedule, cost, scope, or quality. The key differentiator is the uncertainty: it hasn't happened yet. In contrast, an issue is a problem that has already occurred, a defect is an imperfection, and a constraint is a limiting factor. Identifying potential negative risks allows the project team to plan responses before they become actual problems. Proactive risk management is crucial for project success. Question 23. What is the main purpose of the project closing process group? A. To perform quality control on all final deliverables. B. To obtain formal acceptance of the project deliverables by the customer. C. To formally complete the project or phase and transfer the final product, service, or result. D. To update the project management plan with actual performance data. Answer: C. To formally complete the project or phase and transfer the final product, service, or result. The main purpose of the project closing process group is to formally complete the project or phase, ensuring all activities are finished and the final product, service, or result is transferred to the appropriate entity. This includes administrative closure, contractual closure, if applicable, and updating organizational process assets with lessons learned. It's about bringing a definitive end to the project, releasing resources, and ensuring all obligations are met, not just delivering the product but formally shutting down the project effort. Don't forget to tie up all loose ends at the project's conclusion. Question 24. A project manager is facilitating a meeting where team members are openly disagreeing about the best technical approach to a specific task. The project manager encourages all viewpoints and seeks a solution that incorporates elements from different ideas, aiming for a win-win outcome. Which conflict resolution technique is the project manager using? A. Forcing. B. Compromising. C. Collaborating/problem solving. D. Smoothing. Answer: C. Collaborating/problem solving. The project manager is using the collaborating or problem-solving conflict resolution technique. This approach involves incorporating multiple viewpoints and insights from different perspectives to find a solution that satisfies all parties, often leading to a win-win outcome. It encourages open dialogue and creative thinking to address the underlying issues rather than just accommodating or forcing a decision. This method is generally preferred as it builds consensus and strengthens relationships within the team. Always strive for collaboration to find the best solutions in disagreements. Question 25. Which document is created in the initiating process group and provides a high-level description of the project, its objectives, and key stakeholders? A. Scope baseline. B. Project charter. C. Project management plan. D. Requirements documentation. Answer, B. Project Charter. The project charter is the key document created in the initiating process group that provides a high-level description of the project, its objectives, and identifies key stakeholders. It formally authorizes the project's existence and empowers the project manager to use organizational resources. While other documents like the scope baseline or project management plan are crucial, they are developed in later planning stages and contain much more detail than the high-level overview provided by the charter. Think of the project charter as the project's birth certificate and initial mandate.